Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's Anthony Maslow of The Boy Who Cried Flowers, your Mayesh Design Star of 2020. I want to say a special thank you to Mayesh Wholesale for supplying these insane blooms today. And also a special thank you to my team, Anna, Claire, Fallon, Ezekiel, and Jennifer for being here and helping make this dream come true. Today we're going to be making some monochromatic arrangements in the color Story Yellow and Red. So for today's tools, we'll be using a white ceramic cylinder vessel filled in with chicken wire to hold our blooms in place, a Lazy Susan, wire cutters to cut our chicken wire, and of course, a floral knife, as well as floral shears. So when working with chicken wire, you want to make sure that you're cutting the pieces to fill in the vase enough that your stems are able to insert and then go through another hole of the chicken wire so that the stem stays in place. Meaning, if I place this sweet pea at a 45-degree angle, I want it to go through enough holes that it actually stays at that 45-degree angle. With today's vessel, we're using a ceramic taller cylinder. And I love this because we don't have to tape it off with the chicken wire in there, being that this goes up high enough that our stems are going to have enough support when entering it. All right, let's get right into arranging. I'm going to start creating some shape and movement in here and establish exactly where I want to see the lines. Cutting my flowers at a 45-degree angle. Ooh, yes. Sometimes I'll arrange lengths of flowers within my hand and make a cut just to optimize time and efficiency. And what I'm doing is creating an in and out texture. I know we've talked about that before in previous videos. And what that means is we're going to place some further in to the arrangement and some coming out more. And that's just going to give us a little bit of a natural growth pattern. Because I'm working with just the color yellow, I am going to remove any greenery off of these flowers. And I'm just reflexing these roses back. I'm placing my thumb right at the petal bend and just lightly applying pressure. Because I am working with wire, I do want to remove any nubs or thorns on the stem so that if I'm not in love with the placement of the stem, I have the ability to pull it out very easily. However, if you do have nubs or thorns, you can twist your finger back and forth and pull gently to remove the flower, as well as if you're having any trouble inserting a stem while there's more stems inside the vessel, you can just twist as you're pushing it in. This way you don't break the stem trying to insert it or pull it out. So again, working with some tulips, just going to reflex these little babies open, exposing more of that bloom circumference. Drama and flair. For me, the color yellow is such an inspiring, upbeat, energetic color. You know, I think it ultimately just makes you happy seeing it. Reminds you of the sun. Arrangement like this can give you vitamin D. Just kidding! Next I'm working with some yellow Oncidiums, and I knew I wanted to have a more delicate line moving throughout. So I'm going to keep some length on these guys and use them in my higher side and have them spray out. I think these are such a fun flower to use because they have such little tiny delicate blooms. What are some of your favorite yellow flowers? Feel free to leave a comment at the bottom. So at this point I'm going to pull some of the varieties that I'm using, some of the flowers that I'm using a little more heavy right now, and just keep them in groups so that I can have a little more efficiency. Some of the reasons that I chose red and yellow for this monochromatic series are we've gone through a rebranding recently and chosen red and yellow, blue and green to be the colors of our business. And because I love red and yellow so much and think they're such energizing colors, I thought I had to pull this in. Any guard petals that look damaged or beat up, I like to remove. So when using flowers that have lateral stems, I like to make a decision on length and where it's needed. So right here, you could have a shorter stem or a longer stem, depending on which one I cut. Because I want to preserve most length, I'm going to cut off the longer lateral, leaving me 2 long stems. Right now we're using these pastel yellow Lisianthus. So here I have some little filler flowers. I'm going to use these for a very textural element. I'm going to build them up in clusters to cover some of the base in the center and throughout the sides. I pulled some of these carnations that have this wider edge. I thought to myself, these could either distract or add to this arrangement. And as I started to puff them out a little bit, I realized how important a color like this would be. to introduce into a monochromatic arrangement to give that story, to tell the story of texture. I am making a 360 arrangement, so I do want to make sure that at all times I'm moving my arrangement around to make sure that the base is covered and the shape is taking place nicely on both sides. So right now I'm working with a tulip, one of my favorite flowers. You guys will see me use these a lot actually. I'm going to start introducing some red butterfly ranunculus. And again, I want some elements dancing over these filler flowers, right? I want to add some more texture and movement. I have my base, I have my shape established. Now it's all about adding in those final touches. I'm going to go in and start filling in the base of this arrangement with some of this mimosa. So I've got a little bit of this piece left over, and what I want to do is just clean off this really blunt end. And I'm going to utilize this. I don't want to waste any product. Here we have some red anemones. Anemones are such gorgeous flowers. I know they're a lot of people's favorites. I love the natural stem movement that they have. So I'm gonna keep these guys high, reaching for the sun. So I'm choosing to add my sweet peas in towards the end of this arrangement as they're a little more delicate in their stems. I don't want to break any of my delicate stems while inserting some of my larger stem flowers or blooms like roses. I really enjoy working with the number 3. I think it creates the most appealing visual for the eye. So I'm going to move into bringing some tropical elements into this. Anthuriums are a favorite of mine. I think they're such sexy flowers. They've got this beautiful glow to them as well. They remind me of the perfect shade of lip color. And then I'm going to add some yarrow in here. This yarrow is just going to provide a little more texture to see through and add a little bit more interest into this arrangement. And again, just working with 3s. Woo! All right, there you have it. Our monochromatic series. I want to say thank you so much to my team, Mayesh, and I want to thank you as a viewer. We really appreciate you watching these videos. We'd love to hear from you. Please visit us at Instagram at The Boy Who Cried Flowers and let us know what you think. Bye guys.